Detective Jack Keats took a bullet. But now, he's got an even bigger headache. Because the one man he wants to kill...
If I even smell your breath, I will shoot you dead.
...is the same one he's been assigned to protect. Damon Wayans. Adam Sandler.
I gotta learn how to fight. This is pathetic.
I'm trying to save your life.
Bulletproof, rated R. Starts Friday, September 6th in theaters everywhere.
So this was panned back when it came out in 1996. It was basically, I mean, it didn't come out on Labor Day weekend. It came out on the first weekend of September, which is not usually, was back then it wasn't usually seen as a big weekend for newer movies. And this was kind of a little bit of a dumping ground. But yeah, right off the bat, you can pretty much tell it's kind of a role reversal of 48 Hours. Instead of Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy, the races are switched around, and this time it's Damon Wayans, and Adam Sandler is the criminal instead of Eddie Murphy. And, it very much is like that. It's like a lot of buddy cop movies. But, with that said, I still found this movie pretty funny. It's a movie that I think it's one of Adam Sandler's more underrated comedies, because it's a film that came out after Happy Gilmore, after Billy Madison put him on the map. Then this movie comes out, kind of disappears from the public eye. It doesn't really get a whole lot of attention, but this movie really is funny. Like, it's a movie that I think honestly holds up a lot better than I think a lot of people give it credit for. It does get really stupid. It's a very formulaic buddy cop movie, but Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler work off each other very well. There are stupidly fun moments in this film, some over-the-top ridiculous moments in here. It is not a good film whatsoever. It's a heavily flawed movie, but man, I think it's actually a lot better than people give it credit for. It's one of the better knockoff buddy cop movies in terms of just being more fun, more active, more enjoyable to watch. I mean, recently around that time there was a movie called Fled, which was which was not a very good movie, which tried to do the same thing this did with Lawrence Fishburne and Stephen Baldwin, which failed miserably. We had so many attempts like that back then, and yeah, this doesn't compare to stuff like 48 Hours or Lethal Weapon, but it's still pretty funny. I still really enjoy it a whole lot. I might be one of the few people that actually do generally like this movie. I mean, I think it's very underrated. I think it's one of Adam Sandler's more underrated movies, and it's directed by Ernest Dickerson, the guy who did Juice and Demon Knight. I really like this movie a lot. I know a lot of people have mixed opinions on it. It's largely overlooked in terms of Adam Sandler's movies, but I liked it. I really liked it a lot. So, quick one on that one. That's Bulletproof. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Whoopi Goldberg and Gerard Depardieu in Bogus.
Imaginary character on some little boy's wall. You're not real.
If you believe in magic, believe in Bogus.
He's got a friend? I can't tell you anything about him because he's invisible. And I can't see him.
Whoopi Goldberg.
She has a funny hair, huh?
Gerard Depardieu.
She needs a friend.
I really need you.
In Bogus.
In her, you need her too. Yes, you do.
Rated PG. Sneak preview Saturday, August 24th. Starts Friday, September 6th.
Basically Drop Dead Fred if it was intended to be more of an Oscar baitish type of film, which this kind of very much is. I mean, you've got Norman Jewison, who had done Moonstruck, on the here as the director, Alvin Sargent, who has written a lot of movies, including most notably Spider-Man 2. But Oscar winner Whoopi Goldberg, Oscar nominee Haley Joel Osment, Gerard Depardieu, it was in Green Card. And it does feel very sentimental. It does feel like there is a little bit of Oscar baitish stuff here or there. But as far as the movie itself goes, I watched it. I thought it was going to be when I saw it the first time, I didn't think it was going to be anything too special. I thought it was actually going to be kind of bad. But I watched it. I was just kind of like, that wasn't the worst, but it certainly isn't a great film. I think the performances overall do carry the load over. I think there is a lot to really admire about the film. I like the ideas that they have in here. I like that it's unlike Drop Dead Fred. It's not obnoxious and in your face like in here. There are moments in here that are nicely done. It's a sweet, sentimental film. It doesn't really do anything, but it doesn't do anything too spectacular to make it stand on its own or make it something you need to see. That I think that may be the biggest flaw to it. It's nothing really all that special, but at the same time, there's nothing really all that bad about it. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of a movie that's just like, I'm glad I saw it. There's no real reason I should watch it again, but like I said, I liked it. I thought it was alright. Will I ever watch it again? Probably not, but I thought the performances carried it overall. I thought the ideas were very good. I thought there were some sweet moments in there, but it does feel a little bit too award season baitish type of stuff here, but like I said, not the worst thing ever, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was a decent film. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is James Woods in Killer, A Journal of Murder.
Welcome to Leavenworth, gentlemen. You're here because you've proven you can't live amongst decent society.
James Woods.
They tell me you're the worst man in this penitentiary.
He's a man who claims to have killed 21 people.
Robert Sean Leonard.
You the new man, Lesser?
Yes, sir.
Are you one of these reformers?
God keeps evil men in his care, that he may use them as instruments of his vengeance.
God didn't make these men. Our system did.
In a true story
Anybody writes my story, it's going to be me.
of two men.
He's so intelligent.
I'll make you a deal. You give me a paper and pencil, and I'll give you the story.
Torn between an act of compassion
I trust you.
and a life of crime.
Pretty much tells you the plot there. James Woods plays this criminal who says he killed 21 people, and this prison guard believes in redemption, and he tries to listen in on this guy's story, and it's basically a story based off of a book, I should say, of the same name, on the life of this serial killer Carl Panzam, who was active in the early 20th century and executed in 1930. That actually used passages drawn from his own writings near the end of his life. That's really all I know about this movie. I don't know if it's good or not because I haven't seen the film. I hardly even knew about it. I didn't even think this went to theaters, but it did. It went to a couple of theaters, and I mean, it could be a decent film. I mean, James Woods looks like he's given a really solid performance in here. I don't know who Robert Sean Leonard is. I guess he's from Dead Poet Society, but I really don't know anything about him, honestly. But the movie itself doesn't look too bad. It actually looks like it could be a decent film. It has some pretty good reviews, largely on James Woods' performance here. But other than that, that's really everything I know about this film. I haven't seen it. Can't really say if it's good or not. So I'm going off of this and saying that it could be something good. It's not something I'm going to rush out to see, but I'm kind of curious about it. So that's A Killer, A Journal of Murder. Let's go ahead and take a look at our last movie here, and that is Sweet Nothing.
My name is Angelo Gazzetta. Please forgive me for what I've done.
In March 1991, a notebook was found in a Bronx apartment. It was written by an ordinary man.
I've been married for 10 years. I have a son and a daughter. I don't want to lose them.
But its pages tell a powerful story.
I sacrificed everything I love
You take a shower. You are so smart.
for something that can never love me in return.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong.
Come on, Dad.
Just a second, Rich.
We have $1,600 in back rent, okay? We have a final disconnect notice.
Jose's dad got a job.
Why don't you go live with Jose's dad?
It has inspired a film that has been praised by critics everywhere. Sweet Nothing.
Another film I haven't really seen, but this is a story that was based on real-life diary pages found by the filmmakers in a Bronx apartment. And the story basically centering around Mira Sorvino plays this woman who gives birth to her second child, and her husband, played by Michael Imperioli, goes out to celebrate. His friend Ray offers him his first hit of crack cocaine. He gets hooked on the drug, and with the hesitant support of his wife, he decides to sell drugs for a short period of time to get the family out of debt and afford nice things for them. However, Angel's addiction grows, his involvement in dealing increases, and his family ends up taking the toll. So this is a story we've seen done over and over again. Nothing really new, nothing really all that intriguing about it, but I mean, you got Mira Sorvino, Michael Imperioli, two very good actors working in this film. Gary Winnick also directed this film. Gary Winnick is, of course, the guy that did 13 Going on 30, Charlotte's Web, Letters to Juliet. He had a pretty decent film career later on in his life. Of course, he passed away in 2011. But as far as this film goes, I mean, it looks like the performances are okay, but it looks like a story we've seen done over and over again. It feels like a film that would have fit during the time of the war on drugs in the 1980s, but not something in 1995 when this movie was made, and 1996 when the movie came out. I don't know. It could actually be something pretty good, but at the same time, it could honestly be not that great. The performances maybe the one thing that makes it strong, but I doubt it. But I don't think it looks bad. I just don't think it looks like anything too spectacular or too amazing, honestly. So, yeah, another quick one on that one. That is Sweet Nothing.
Somebody killed my brother, who was trying to come home. One man, one chance. One shot.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a contractor.
A hitman.
On September 13th,
I lost you, brother. I don't want to lose you.
there's one risk worth taking. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Natasha Henstridge. Maximum Risk, rated R. At theaters Friday, September 13th.
So the premise basically is that Jean-Claude Van Damme, he finds out his twin brother's has died, and so he goes to New York to figure out what happened, and he eventually gets caught up with the Russian mafia, gets involved with his brother's fiancée, played by Natasha Henstridge. I mean, this is something that's been done over and over again. I think we've seen this story done many times. In fact, this is not the first time that Jean-Claude Van Damme has played twin brothers. He played identical twins in Double Impact, which is a movie we looked at back in 1991. As far as this movie goes, I remember seeing it a long, long time ago. I have not seen it since, so I can't really say nowadays if I liked it or not. But when I watched it back then, I just thought it was all right. I didn't think it was anything too crazy, anything too spectacular. But it was a decent. Last that I remember, it was a decent film. It wasn't one that I was kind of like wanted to watch again anytime soon. But the last time I remember watching it many years ago, I did kind of enjoy it, but it didn't leave a lasting impact on me. Fun fact about this movie, Jason Freeberg and Aaron Seltzer, best known for the Scary Movie films and then how they destroyed the parody film franchise, parody comedies, they formed an uncredited rewrite on this film, believe it or not. And this director, Ringo Lam, this is his first movie he's ever done in America after many years as a Hong Kong film director. He did Twin Dragons. He's done stuff like The City on Fire, Prison on Fire, School on Fire. This was the first movie he ever did in America. And I guess they brought him over to see if he could have the same kind of success that John Woo had the previous year, in this year with Broken Arrow. But I don't know. I don't think I remember seeing him directing too many more films here in America that I'm aware of. But we'll see. We'll see once we get to them. We could be getting some of them in the next couple of years or so. But yeah, like I said before, this movie, I remember watching it many years ago. I haven't seen it since. I saw it once. I thought it was okay, but it was never something I really wanted to check out again. So take that for what you will. So that's Maximum Risk. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Anna Paquin and Jeff Daniels in Fly Away Home.
Pictures invite you to join Amy. She was the first thing they saw when they were born, so they think she's their mother. Igor, Featherbrain,
Stop fooling around!
and the rest of the flock
The problem with your birds is they're going to want to migrate south, and they need someone to show them how.
for the ride of their lives.
They're really flying with me!
It's all you, Amy.
From the director of The Black Stallion, Fly Away Home, rated PG.
Carol Ballo directed this. She also did The Black Stallion, Never Cry Wolf. Last movie she did was Wind, which was in '92, and the movie she did after this was Duma, but that was 9 years after this, and that's the last movie I remember seeing her name on. This is another one. This is another one kind of like Maximum Risk. I remember seeing it a long time ago, but unlike Maximum Risk, I actually do remember really liking this movie. This is one that I used to watch as a kid, and I haven't seen it in probably almost 20 years ago. It's been since I've seen this movie, but like I said, I remember watching it. And I thought it was actually pretty good. I mean, the performances carry it all the way through. I do like the message that it's trying to get out here. It doesn't feel like it's trying to tug at your heartstrings manipulatively, like it's not trying to force something onto you. It's actually legitimately, it does give you these emotional moments in the legitimate fashion. It never feels like it's cramming it down your throat or anything. And the performances overall, I think, really do carry the film. The visuals overall look pretty impressive. This is Caleb Deschanel, who's done a ton of great cinematography work. He's done stuff with I can't remember what he did. Give me 1 second. He also did The Black Stallion. He did The Right Stuff, The Natural. It Could Happen to You. Just a ton of really good movies. Stuff like Jack Reacher, more recent stuff. Yeah, a lot of pretty good stuff, and this is a really nice looking film. They do a really good job of getting these shots in the air, and it's nicely done. It's all nicely done. It has a really good story, it has a really good cast to work off of. It's a really good film. I really recommend it. Like I said, even though I haven't seen it in a long time, I do remember really enjoying the film a lot. I think people will really appreciate this movie more than I think people would give it credit for. I think it is a very good, underrated kids film. A good family film overall. I'd say definitely check it out if you can find it. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Halle Berry in The Rich Man's Wife.
She had the best of everything and a marriage that made it possible. It's rich.
Yeah?
But the
price of wealth just went up. It's about your husband.
I met this guy.
He wanted Tony's money.
I didn't know the man was crazy.
He wanted Tony's wife.
Going to the police.
No, you don't know what you're doing, Halle Berry.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
The rich man's wife.
Don't push me.
Rated R. Starts Friday, September.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know that Halle Berry starred in the movie where she was married to Shooter McGavin. That's Christopher McDonald playing the rich man in this particular role here. Directed by Amy Holden Jones, who did the Slumber Party Massacre, also wrote the Beethoven movies. That's really all I know about this movie because I've never seen it before, and quite frankly, I have no real reason to ever see it. I mean, Halle Berry's made some pretty good movies, but she's made some movies that you can tell right off the bat are really, really bad. And you don't even need to see the movie, honestly, to really get it for sure. Like The Cell, you could already kind of figure where that's going to go. Kidnap, like stuff like that. Catwoman. This definitely fits in that category of her just picking films, hoping it's going to be the film that will turn her career around. But of course, eventually down the road, she finally got some better roles, and of course, one that won her an Oscar in Monsters Ball. But this is pretty standard stuff. Like, this is a pretty standard slasher thriller, kind of. It never really feels like it's going to do anything it never does anything to really make you want to watch it. It feels like everybody's kind of wasting their time with it. You don't really get any excitement from this at all. Like, it's not really an enjoyable film. It's not really it's not really that solid. Everybody in this movie deserves a lot better than this. It's a largely forgettable film. I say that I've seen it. I haven't seen it, but it looks like a largely forgettable film. In fact, most people whenever I look at Halle Berry stuff, nobody ever really talks about this. That probably should give you a good idea of how this movie ends up playing out. So, yeah, I've never seen it before, but I'm guessing that it did not age well or end up holding up over time very well. So, thankfully, she's done a whole lot better than this. So that's The Rich Man's Wife. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Feeling Minnesota.
They make a nice couple, don't they?
No, Freddie met the man of her dreams. Unfortunately, it's the groom's brother. Gonna go at it over, Sam. Big time. Keanu Reeves, Vincent D'Onofrio, Cameron Diaz, Dan Aykroyd, Courtney Love, Tuesday Weld, and Delroy Lindo. From the producers of Pulp Fiction and Get Shorty. Drop the gun! You drop yours. Oh, I pulled mine out first. Feeling Minnesota. Rated R. Starts Friday, September 13th.
Another one I've never seen before, but it's got a pretty good cast. Keanu Reeves, Vincent D'Onofrio, Cameron Diaz, Tuesday Weld, Dan Aykroyd, Delroy Lindo. I'm guessing it's kind of trying to be the next Get Shorty in Pulp Fiction. It's even produced by Danny DeVito, who was also in Get Shorty. But it doesn't really look like anything that could be that interesting, especially when you see the reviews for this. I think this has a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, which does not really show a lot of confidence. And yet, Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up, so I'm conflicted on it. I don't know if I want to see it or not, but I mean, at least Siskel and Ebert usually if they give a film 2 thumbs up, it's not usually a really bad movie, but I don't know. This one is very conflicting. I haven't seen it, so I can't really say if it's good or not, so better move on to the next movie. That was a quick one. Next one, we have Grace of My Heart.
I would know the first thing about how to save even myself with a song, much less the world.
You're the best songwriter in this joke of a business.
I think we should try to make it big.
You were holding out on me. Why did you save your best song for girls?
I'm a singer, and I'm going to record my own stuff.
Another one I haven't seen before, but it has a really good cast to it. Elena Douglas, Matt Dillon, Eric Stoltz, John Turturro, Patsy Kensit, Bruce Davison, Bridget Fonda, Chris Isaac. There are some good names in this movie, and it does sound like a pretty interesting premise to it, but at the same time, though, it feels like a movie that was overshadowed by a far superior movie that we're going to get to when we get to a couple weeks down the road in 1996 with That Thing You Do, which I think that movie did that a whole lot better, and I think that's a movie that stands out a whole lot more. This one doesn't look like it's a bad movie by any means. It looks like it could be a really enjoyable film. Plus, it's nice to see a character actress like Elena Douglas getting a more prominent leading role in a film like this, so I wish I had some more to tell you about it, but I haven't seen the film, so I can't really say if it's good or not, but I mean, I have no reason to believe that it's a bad film. It definitely looks like it has more promise than... Ooh, excuse me. But it definitely feels like it has more promise to it than people would give it credit for. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen the film, but it definitely has a lot of things that could make me want to go see it at some point. If I find it somewhere, and a couple is at a thrift store or something, or I find it online cheaply, I'll definitely check it out. But it's not something I want to rush out to see right away. But my interest is definitely piqued on this one. So, grace in my heart. Let's go to the next movie, and that is American Buffalo.
Friendship is friendship and a wonderful thing, and I'm all for it. I've never said different. And you know me on this point, okay?
What makes you such an authority on life all of a sudden?
My life, Don, and the way I've lived it.
Get Teach an English muffin.
I don't want an English
Get him an English muffin and make sure they give you the jelly. I found a nickel. I like it because of the art on it.
Uh-huh.
Because it looks like something.
Is this worth anything?
You don't want me to do the job? Not now. We aren't going to do it now. You tell me when you want me to do it. I don't know that I want you to do it at this point.
So what was this thing with the kid? I mean, is there anything,
No, it's nothing, you know.
You want to tell me what this thing is?
What about the thing? The thing?
Yeah.
No, it's nothing.
Oh.
You know.
No, I don't know. What is it?
Based off of David Mamet's play of the same name from 1975. You got Dustin Hoffman there, and Dennis Franz and this kid, played by Sean Nelson. And they're basically just three guys who plan to rob this house and try to make some money so they can get out of town. And this has been a movie that's been in development hell for a number of years. This was originally in development by the Cannon Group, which was no longer in service at this point. Al Pacino was actually going to be in this, but he turned it down. And I mean, it's a film that maybe might be good, because I usually like a lot of David Mamet stuff, but the reviews for this have not been too pleasing. Even though what I'm seeing here, I mean, it doesn't look like it's terrible, but it looks like it has good ideas but bad execution. That's something I usually like to talk about with movies and things that have good ideas to them, but when they actually do the finished product, it kind of falters on what they were trying to do here. I mean, Dustin Hoffman and Dennis Franz look like they're trying their best here, but I mean, it doesn't look like anything that's terrible, but it doesn't look like anything that's really on the level of something like Glengarry Glen Ross. I like David Mamet stuff a lot, so maybe I might find something in it, but as far as I know, it's something that could either go either way. It could be really good, could be really bad. I really don't know for sure. I haven't seen it, so let's go ahead and take a look at our last film, and that is American Strays.
Everything ended up somewhere on the fringe of society and the edge of reality. 10 strangers are on a road to nowhere.
We're going for a drive.
So you've got three interwoven stories of desert travelers. They converge in the small diner, and you see the names in here: Scott Plank, Melora Waters, John Savage, Joe Vitelli, Luke Perry, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Tilly. Really, I know nothing about this movie. I didn't even know it even existed, so I can't really say if it's good or not. But it looks like another one, like American Buffalo. It looks like it has some good ideas to it, but just poor execution. It probably doesn't have anything redeemable about it. So I wish I had some more to tell you about this one, but I know literally nothing about this movie. So really quick one on that one, American Strays.
Do it, Morris. Do what you mean now. You need it. You're the only one who does it the way I like it.
If I give you any more collagen, your lips are going to look like they got stuck in a pool drain.
Morning, Mom.
Morning, Miss Elliott.
Leave me alone. I'm very fragile right now.
What is that fragrance? Mint Milano, Chips Ahoy?
Melamars.
Mom! Hi, sweetie. Oh, hi. You know you're in a gay bar?
I know, honey. I know, and that's what's so great. There's just so many nice lesbians. Just everywhere you look, there's lesbians. What's the matter?
Come on, at least you can tell me. The cheekbones, the jawline. Did they just have a little bit of the full Ivana? Okay. All right, I have been freshened up a little bit. What do they do with the stuff they take off? You get to keep it?
I gave Aaron a home. I washed the shorts, I ironed them, and I starched them.
Oh,
you did? Yeah, well, I mean, I supervised.
Hello. What's the matter, Morty? Can't you buy her a whole dress?
At least, hi, I'm Phoebe. I've seen all your movies, and I want to be just like you. Only me.
He brought her to my son's wedding. Is she a gift?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about revenge? No, I'm talking about justice. Put it in there. Okay, First Wives Club, we'll come to order.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. Don't you touch that. Drop it, you heat-seeking
Barry, come on, stop it.
You don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way.
This is about justice.
Hello, sunshine. Wake up and smell the oil. Happy days.
Bette Midler, Goldie Hawn, Diane Keaton.
We're so 90s. We can help them rise, we can help them fall.
The First Wives Club.
Ladies, remember what? Don't get mad. Get everything.
And then her ex-husband became president. I don't know who actually won in that battle, but First Wives Club. This is essentially a chick flick for the older audiences, and I have not been kind to these type of movies over the last couple of years. The worst movie I've seen so far in 2023 was 80 for Brady, and I was not very kind to that film. If you want to go check that review out, I'll have a link to it in the corner. But some of these movies can actually be pretty good. This is one of those exceptions. This is a movie that I think beats the ever-loving crap out of most chick flicks. It has a lot of elements to it I generally laughed at with the film. And it's one of those films I remember seeing as a little kid. We went to it as one of those sneak previews that they had. I was about 7 years old. I was 7 years old, and it was the first movie I ever saw in the theater that I genuinely enjoyed. I think it was only this. I think it was maybe the second or. No, that wasn't true because I saw Toy Story. The first Toy Story on a big screen is in the theater. So this is the second best movie I remember seeing in theaters when I was little. I think I only saw 3 movies in between Free Willy 2 and this movie, and the other one was Toy Story. And I think, and obviously Toy Story was the one film that I remember seeing in a theater really enjoying. And this is definitely a close second. I recognize its many flaws. It is a very heavily flawed film in terms of the plot, the comedic set pieces, the jokes and plot come together. When they do come together, it is generally some really good fun. This pairing of Goldie Hawn, Diane Keaton, and Bette Midler are spot on. These three really do hold the movie together. You can believe they have a good relationship as friends because the performances are authentic and brilliantly handled. And you've got a really good cast in this movie, too. I mean, you see it in the trailer. You see Bronson Pinchot in there. You see Dan Hedaya, Sarah Jessica Parker, Elizabeth Berkley. I mean, there's a really solid cast in this movie, and they play their parts really well here. And they're roles that are very much given to them. It's interesting because they've kind of remade this movie almost 20 years later with The Other Woman, with Cameron Diaz, Leslie Mann, and Kate Upton. It has kind of like the same kind of setup to it. It was pretty much seen as a ripoff for it, but I thought that movie overall was actually pretty fun too. It's nowhere near as good as this movie, but I think that movie actually is much better than I think a lot of people give it credit for. I know they've actually remade this into a TV series. I remember at one point TV Land was actually going to do it with Allison Hannigan, Megan Hilty, and Vanessa Lachey, but I think they ended up doing a black version of it with for BET, and now I can't remember who was actually in that show. It has Michelle Buteau, Jill Scott, and Ryan Michelle Bathy. And it's apparently still going on. They just had their 3rd season last year, and it's still not canceled yet. But we don't know if it's going to be. Nobody knows if it's really going to come back or not. But I'm surprised it's still on the air, considering I never really heard about it. But the First Wives Club is aimed at mostly adult audiences. But here's one of the interesting things about this movie is that it got a PG rating, which usually when a PG rating is given to a movie of this caliber, it usually isn't that good. There have been some few exceptions here and there, and this is definitely one of the few exceptions. It's good fun to watch solely on the performances of these leading 3 alone. The cast is really good. The comedy overall is very well done. The script is very well written. It's a really good, fun, romantic comedy that is worth checking out. Even if you're not the biggest fan of these kind of chick flicks, you might actually enjoy it if you go into it with the right mindset. I really enjoyed the movie a whole lot, so that's The First Wives Club. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Bruce Willis in the Western Last Man Standing.
I was coming through Texas on my way to Mexico. I needed some time to hide out. I should have known better. It didn't take too long before it started.
It's not a good idea to be looking at Mr. Doyle's girl that way.
I seem to remember a guy once told me this is a free country.
How free to go?
2 bootlegging gangs from Chicago took over this town. You got Strozzi and the Italians on one side, and Doyle and his Irish boys on the other. Maybe I can make some money.
Well, you came to the right place, sir, because everybody here is making a lot of money.
His name's Smith. At least that's what he says.
Did you get that car of yours fixed yet?
I was hoping maybe you could help me pay the damages.
I guess maybe you'll have to kill me.
It'll hurt if I do.
How'd you like to kill, Strutty? I figure you for the kind of guy who goes to the highest bidder.
$1,000, Mr. Doyle.
Nobody's worth that much. Shot some of our guys.
Yes, I did. Once you deserved it.
Mr. Doyle thought you and him had a deal.
Somehow I had the feeling the walls were moving in on me.
Now you've been going back and forth playing both sides. Making yourself a lot of money out of all this.
One little second you think you're gonna get away free and clear. You end up paying the price.
Kill him.
No exceptions. Everybody pays the price.
Hickey's coming directly for you. Don't be coming to me for help.
I came by to tell you I quit.
You don't quit me. Nobody quits me.
What's you thinking about me when you're dying?
I'll be in hell waiting for you.
Nothing personal.
The pieces are definitely there. I mean, Bruce Willis, Christopher Walken, Bruce Dern. You also have Walter Hill writing and directing it. It's actually a Western remake of Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo. The pieces are definitely there, but man, the execution is just... It's just not there, man. I was really disappointed when I saw this movie for the first time, because I remember getting this when I was kind of picking up every movie that I could find at FYE, or... I can't remember if it was FYE or CD Warehouse. It might actually have been a Walmart, honestly, when they had the $5 bin. I saw this in there. And I wanted to see all of Bruce Willis action movies because I really like Bruce Willis as an actor. And I thought this was going to be really cool. I thought this would have been a very interesting idea, but it just didn't really quite work out well. I mean, it's hard to listen to Bruce Willis in this movie because he's talking way too softly than he usually does here. And I think that's actually kind of one of the flaws to the film, is that the atmosphere isn't really all that strong. The writing isn't all that great. The monotone performance of Bruce Willis's character really doesn't fly very well. I mean, Christopher Walken's not even all that great in the movie. And usually if Christopher Walken's not even putting his effort into it, then you know something is off here. And it's Walter Hill. I mean, Walter Hill is a damn good director. He's made a ton of great movies spanning all these different genres. And you think this would be something incredible considering it's a remake of a Kurosawa film. But it's just nothing, there's just nothing there. It's a lifeless film. It doesn't really have anything to make it work. And it's just really like, when you watch the film, it's just like, what happened here? Why isn't this working? And it's a shame, too, because the pieces are definitely there. There should be something that could be really enjoyable about this, but it just doesn't work very well. I think maybe the big problem with this is that combining the Western genre with a mafia film as well, a mob flick, I think that maybe was a little bit too much here. I think there could have been something maybe interesting if they had done another rewrite here, or allowed these actors to really emote and actually have some character to them. But there's just nothing there. It's a film that really was one of the biggest letdowns of my life. Like, I was really looking forward to seeing it just on the namesake alone, and it really let me down big time. It's a major disappointment. Last Man Standing, man. It's a disappointment. It's a big disappointment in my opinion. So, that's Last Man Standing. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next film, and that is Stanley Tucci and Tony Shalhoub in Big Night.
Is this what I ordered? Yes, that is a risotto. It's a special recipe that my brother and I bring from Italy. But I get a side of spaghetti with this, right? Why? She likes starch. I don't know. Come on. Here, are no meatballs with the spaghetti?
They were two brothers who came to America bearing Italy's greatest gift.
To eat good food is to be close to God. I'm never sure what that means, but it's true anyway.
They have a talent for cooking.
No, wait.
Now, all they need,
if you give people time, they learn. This is a restaurant, not a cooking school.
Is a recipe for success.
If we don't receive your payment by the end of the month, we will foreclose.
What do you mean?
Their only hope is a plan.
Louis Prima. Louis Prima is a friend of mine. I make a call. He's in town next week. You cook for him. Louis Prima is coming. He's not just some guy. He's famous.
Their only obstacle
Men, boys,
is each other.
My brother sometimes is too...
I think yesterday I said that Oliver Platt is in this movie. He is not in this film. That's actually the next movie that Stanley Tucci would direct, The Imposters. That's the one that he's in. But like I said, Tony Shalhoub is in here. A pretty standard premise here. You've got two brothers from I think Italy. They're coming in. Two brothers who run an Italian restaurant in New Jersey, in 1950s New Jersey. They decide to their business isn't going well, so they get a plan to put on an evening of incredible food, and you have a cast that also includes some names like Mark Anthony, Minnie Driver, Ian Holm, Isabella Rossellini, Allison Janney is also in here. This is actually co-directed by Campbell Scott as well, and I remember liking this movie. I think it is a very nice, quiet film. Story-wise, it doesn't do anything too creative or too engaging, but the laughs I think in here really do carry the film, as well as the performances of these characters, specifically Tucci and Shalhoub. I think they work off each other really well here, and movie Food Man just really looks good in the right hands. This is a film that definitely shows off how good this food can really be. Like, even somebody who, like me, who wouldn't want to try half the stuff in here, I'd look at this and just like, man, that looks really good. I actually want to go to this place and actually try it. So yeah, this is a nice little gem here. I don't think a lot of people really talk about it all that much, but it's a pretty good film. If you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend checking it out. Big Night. I think it is a very good film. Definitely give it a shot. So, let's go ahead and take a look at our last movie. That's Anthony Hopkins in Surviving Picasso.
You would love me forever, right before gone.
This fall, Academy Award winner Anthony Hopkins will be reunited with Merchant Ivory, producers of The Remains of the Day, Howard's End, and A Room with a View.
I'm a man of deep feelings. You have no feelings. You know nothing about love.
And join two-time Academy Award-winning producer David Wolper to bring you the story of Pablo Picasso, the greatest artist of the 20th century.
Painting can never be finished. The day I finish a painting, that day I'm finished.
A man whose passion for women,
And a perfectly straightforward character with all my cards on the table,
was exceeded only by his desire to create.
There are so many cards, and some of them are under the table, too.
And his
Basically kind of what you get there. Anthony Hopkins playing Pablo Picasso. It's done by Merchant Ivory, directed by James Ivory, produced by Ismail Merchant, and David L. Wolper of Roots fame. I mean, you pretty much get what you asked for here on that front there. As far as the movie itself goes, I don't really know anything about it because I have never seen the film. I know it's got Natasha McElhone. It's also got Julianne Moore in here, Diana Verona, Josh Acklin, some notable names in here, and it doesn't look like it's a bad-looking film. It looks nice and all, but in terms of the critical reviews for this, I've actually seen it's not gotten too many good reviews for it, so I mean, this was kind of in a lull for Merchant Ivory, because usually when their name comes up, it usually means high-quality stuff like it was in the early 90s, but this is kind of their sluggish point at this point here. I don't think they really had another substantial hit until 2003 with Les Divorce, which is still about, 7 years down the road here, but I don't know. I've never seen the film before. I mean, Anthony Hopkins usually can turn in a very good performance, but I don't think it's enough to carry this film overall, judging by what I see here with this trailer. So yeah, that's Surviving Picasso.
Critics are calling Extreme Measures a ferociously suspenseful thriller.
They're gonna kill us!
Hugh Grant and Gene Hackman make riveting adversaries.
You're not God.
You'd better think about that. Extreme Measures is the best thriller since The Fugitive. Hugh Grant, Gene Hackman, Extreme Measures, rated R. Starts Friday.
So this is done by Michael Apted. Michael Apted's the guy we've talked about. We've reviewed some of his movies on here, including Class Action, Thunderheart, Blink, Nell. A very good director. Of course, he's also done stuff like Coal Miner's Daughter, Continental Divide, Critical Condition. His next movie he'd do would be the James Bond movie, The World Is Not Enough. And also of note about this movie is a production of both Hugh Grant and Elizabeth Hurley. And I get the feeling that after what Hugh Grant did back in 1995 with that prostitute, this was kind of a way for them to kind of keep their relationship together, to have Elizabeth Hurley producing a movie on here, because I mean, I don't know why Elizabeth Hurley's producing this movie, but she's one of the producers on here. And it's written by Tony Gilroy. Tony Gilroy is a notable action movie writer. He's written a lot of great scripts in his career. The movie overall basically dealing with the effects of medical sacrifices. It's a genuinely enjoyable film. Is it a great film overall? Not exactly. I mean, the story does kind of taper off a little bit. It's one of those movies where it has an intriguing premise to it, has some good ideas to it, but it botches the landing with a pretty standards ending. I mean, the performances overall are really good. I really like Hugh Grant in this movie. He's kind of playing a character that's completely outside of his norm. He's been playing like the character we see in Four Weddings and a Funeral, or even something like 9 Months. He's playing a more serious role here, and I think he does a pretty good job in the role here. Gene Hackman's also very good here, as is Sarah Jessica Parker. David Morse is also in here as well. It has this dark, gritty feel to it that I think works very well here. Some good music by Danny Elfman. I think it is an overall enjoyable film. It's the story that really kind of tapers it off, because once it gets to that third act, which is pretty mediocre, and you need like a big twist to really make this a masterpiece, but it just kind of takes the safe way down, honestly. It doesn't really do anything to make it really unique or incredible. It's just kind of mediocre. It's not that it's bad or anything, but you really want a much better ending for what they're setting up here compared to what you get. I mean, like I said, the movie isn't bad. I'd say it's actually legitimately decent. It really could have been a whole lot better had the ending been a whole lot better, though. But I'd say for a one-time watch, it's not that bad. That's Extreme Measures. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is 2 Days in the Valley.
There's a man that's going to come looking for me. He wants to finish the job he botched. Life insurance. He's going to get our money. Who says money can't buy happiness? People don't realize how important a minute is until they only have one left. 2 Days in the Valley. Rated R. Starts Friday, September 27th at theater.
Very much kind of a Pulp Fiction / Shortcuts type of feel to it. You got all these characters meeting up over the course of 2 days, and it's a really good cast. You got Danny Aiello, Jeff Daniels, Terry Hatcher, Glenn Headley, Marsha Mason, Paul Mazursky, James Spader, Eric Stoltz, Charlize Theron. This is written and directed by John Hertzfeld, who had previously done the infamous John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John film Two of a Kind, and after this he'd do 15 Minutes with Edward Norton and Robert De Niro. Was that with Robert De Niro? Just making sure. Yeah, no, it has Robert De Niro, but Edward Burns is the other person who's in that movie, not Edward Norton. But he's been a decent director, and this is probably his best film overall. It does have moments in there that are very enjoyable. There are some enjoyable scenes in here. The writing overall is okay. It definitely feels like they're trying to create a new Pulp Fiction, while also trying to do something similar to, like I said before, Shortcuts. Not every story works here. Not every story is really compelling. There are some good funny moments, but there are also some good dramatic moments. I don't think it really balances the story out that well to balances both the comedy and the drama out, like something like Pulp Fiction does. But of the Pulp Fiction clones that came out around this time, this is probably one of the stronger ones. It has a really good cast that does a very good job here. And it is an enjoyable film. It is an enjoyable film, but kind of like with Extreme Measures, it doesn't really stick the landing when it matters the most. I think the script really is the biggest problem with it. It definitely could have been a whole lot better, but as it is, it's definitely a really an enjoyable film. I was really glad I saw this movie for the first time. And will be the last movie that we'll talk about with Charlize Theron on 96. Wait till next week. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at our next film, and that is Mike Leigh's Secrets and Lies.
Films presents Secrets and Lies, nominated for 5 Academy Awards.
That's lovely.
Including Best Picture.
My name's Hortense Cumberbatch.
Best Actress.
That's a funny name, isn't it?
Best Supporting Actress.
What are your expectations? I just want to know.
Best Screenplay.
You know the party, Sunsy. Can I bring a maid?
And Best Director.
She can't be the one that...
The things you know nothing about.
Secrets and Lies, rated R.
So this is a story about this woman who's a black middle-class London optimist who was adopted by a baby and has chosen to track her family history and discovers that her birth mother is a working-class white woman with a dysfunctional family. And this is kind of the story where they figure out their secrets of the secrets of everybody in this family, and it affects their everyday life. This is directed by Mike Leigh, of course. We've talked about some of his movies in the past, and I don't think I ever remember seeing this movie before I looked at those other Mike Leigh movies. I did look at this because it was one of the Best Picture nominees of 1996, just to see if it was really worth it, and I pretty much thought it did. It doesn't do a whole lot like the usual lackluster Oscar baiters type movies do. I really thought I was going into this expecting another cliche-riddled Oscar bait film, but I really didn't get that. I got a lot of really good performances out of here. You got Timothy Spall, Marianne Jean-Baptiste, Brenda Blevin, just a really good cast overall here, a really good story to tell. and it does manage to balance the comedic moments and the more serious moments very well here. The performances overall are really what carries the film over. It's a really enjoyable film. I would say it's definitely one of the stronger films of '96. You can definitely see why it would be considered one of the best pictures of the year. It is a really good film and a really good showcase for Marianne G. Baptist, who was really good in the film. And I'm glad that she got a nomination for Best Supporting Actress. And the movie overall was really good. I really enjoyed the film. I highly recommend checking it out. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Secrets and Lies. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie here, and that is Curdled, produced by Quentin Tarantino.
Somewhere in the city, a serial murderer is about to strike again.
Tonight, we profiled the reign of terror of Miami's blue blood killer.
But there's one woman in town.
You had a job like this before?
No.
You're not a gorehound, are you?
Who knows more about the killer than anyone else.
You can see exactly how it happened.
Scrub.
And this is one mess she can't clean up so easily.
There's a name by the body. You?
Yes. Quentin Tarantino's Rolling Thunder Pictures presents William Baldwin.
Why don't you show me what you know?
The first time was here.
Yes, Cameron.
In Curdled, a movie that goes right for the jugular.
He chopped off her head in front of the mirror?
It's horrible.
I know.
The New York Post says Baldwin is menacing, dazzling, and dangerous.
Don't stop looking at me.
A cutting-edge thriller.
It's a dangerous place for a little girl.
Curdled.
Okay, technically it wasn't produced by Quentin Tarantino. It was produced by his company, Band Apart, and also Rolling Thunder Pictures. However, he does have an uncredited cameo in here, and believe it or not, this actually takes place in the same universe as From Dusk Till Dawn, because not only does he show up with his character from that movie, but George Clooney also shows up in a cameo as his character from that movie, as well as Kelly Preston. So in a way, it's kind of similar to what happened the previous year when you had Smoke and Blue in the Face. We had two different movies pretty much done with the same people, not to this extent, but it felt very similar to that. They even have one of the people who was in Blue in the Face in this movie, Mel Gorham, and the movie overall looks like it's really interesting. It looks like I've never seen the film before, but I honestly didn't even know about it until I saw it. But it looks like it's a really slick type of thriller, something that you didn't usually see that often. You have a really good cast involved here: William Baldwin, Bruce Ramsey, Daisy Fuentes. As I mentioned, Mel Gorham's in here, Kelly Preston, Angela Jones, the woman who plays the lead role in this. She looks like she's having a real good time playing this role. It looks like it could be a really interesting, underrated gem. It looks like a movie that really has a lot of possibilities to it. I really want to see this movie at some point. If I can find it somewhere at a reasonable price, I'll definitely check it out, because I'm actually very curious about this particular film. That's pretty much all I got on that one. That's Curdle. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next movie, and that is Ed's Next Move.
Makes the zipper on my jeans melt.
No, Ed, get out of town. Time to make a move. First, look for an apartment.
Hey, Ray! You ready, Brodsky?
When do you want to move in?
Now, get out there and find a girl.
You don't even know anyone here? Don't worry about it. You with me.
Americans are obsessed with numbers.
How long have you lived here?
See that? It's the number of years you want to know. The number.
Excuse me. I think I see my dentist.
Go to museums. Very nice to women at museums.
What's this stuff he's using?
Oh, it's bubble wrap. It's the same as always.
This is not bubble wrap.
I wouldn't...
4 women in one elevator? I haven't been with 4 women in the same time zone.
And yes, that is Gavin Belson from Silicon Valley, or as I like to think of him as Mr. Damien from Last Holiday, the Queen Latifah remake. Another movie I never heard of. Basically, sounds like it has kind of a simple story. He's been dumped by his girlfriend, and this scientist decides to go back to his home state in Wisconsin to leave it. He leaves his home state of Wisconsin to take this job in New York City. And he goes to the Big Apple, he gets a new roommate, and he encourages him to start dating again. And he has little luck with women until he meets this woman, Lee, played by Callie Thorne. And they appear to be on the opposites of the surface, but they're going to work it. But they're going to get together. That's kind of what that's kind of what they're setting up for here. And I mentioned Smoke in the last movie. It's interesting because this film's production apparently was made possible with the leftover 35mm film stock they had from when they made the movie Smoke. So I thought that was kind of interesting to see. As far as the movie itself goes, like I said, I've never seen it before, but this actor, Matt Ross, I've seen him in a lot of really good stuff. I think he is a really good actor, and I had no idea he was in this movie. So this is another one that I kind of want to check out at some point. If I could find it somewhere at a reasonable price, this is one I'd be curious to check out and see if it was actually any good. So, again, quick one on that one. Nothing too crazy on that one. That's Ed's next move. On to the next movie, and that is Somebody to Love.
I'm here for the audition.
What part?
Any part.
Welcome to Hollywood, where a wannabe actress,
When you make it, I mean, no one can touch you. No one can take it away.
her washed-up boyfriend,
This business is not for the people with weak stomachs.
a kid with a major crush,
How come you don't know how to dance in this stuff?
I will take lessons.
and a godfather with one foot in the grave.
If you ever need a job, hook me up. I'll have something for you.
Are all about to discover
Trouble in paradise?
that everybody needs somebody.
Can't believe I was out there fighting like that.
Yet another one I never heard of, but this one apparently sat on a shelf for about a couple of years because it originally was produced in 1994. You see Rosie Perez in there. She plays this taxi dancer who wants to be an actress, and she gets involved with this married man played by Harvey Keitel, who considers himself to be a respected actor. And this guy Ernesto is in love with Mercedes, but he doesn't dance or have money. So it's a story I think that is very much a mix of a number of different stories going on here. You see the names that they already mentioned in there: Rosie Perez, Harvey Keitel, Anthony Quinn, Steve Buscemi, Stanley Tucci are also in here. So is Samuel Fuller, Sam Rockwell. It's directed by Alexander Rockwell, who had done In the Soup, and before that this movie came out, he had a directing credit on 4 Rooms. Again, another movie that I'm really kind of curious about. I really like Rosie Perez. I really like Harvey Keitel. I really like Anthony Quinn. It's got a good cast to it. It has some really good ideas to it as well. Could actually be a pretty good film, but as far as I know right now, it's one movie I haven't seen. So another one. I said it before, I'll say it again. If I could find it at a reasonable price, I definitely would want to check it out. But that's pretty much all I got on that one. That's Somebody to Love. Let's go ahead and take a look at our last film, and that is The Lion King, the Al Hirschfeld story.
Because I think his whole body has all the spring and delight and electricity that his drawings have. And we tried to get him up here, I don't know, to do something in connection with this particular movie.
So if you don't know who Al Hirschfeld is, you probably have definitely seen his work before. He's done a lot of these unique, different artistic styles of various things, like various actors and actresses. You see in that little clip there, Katharine Hepburn's one of them. Liza Minnelli's another one. He's done a ton of these, and he's left a major impact on a number of different entertainers and personalities. Like more recently, one of his longtime fans is Eric Goldberg, a famous Disney animator, and you can definitely tell he was inspired by his designs when you see what he did with Fantasia 2000. And more in films like Aladdin, as well as Hercules as well. He's a really damn good artist, man. I've seen a lot of his works before. I never really got to see this documentary before. I definitely see what a lot of people talk about. He has this very unique style to him when it comes to these visuals that he has here. He creates these nice caricatures. He's influenced a number of artists and talented people. And it just his stuff is amazing to look at, and I wish I could delve more into this, especially with this documentary. But I've never seen it before. I never even knew it even existed. But I love Al Hirschfeld stuff. Again, this is one I want to see if I can find somewhere. I probably can find it online for free, but I'd like to check this one out. I do like Al Hirschfeld's work a lot. It'd be cool to see a documentary about this guy. So that's The Lion King, the Al Hirschfeld story.